Welcome to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Check waifu waifu. Ma, tell them. Is that you?
We lucky today.
This is episode 333 of Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Palindrome. As always, brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu Waifu is where you can get early access to the video version of this podcast, where you can get access to the Patreon exclusive podcast, the after stories, where you can get access to the pre-show, which goes live 2 days before this episode goes live. It goes live actually on Patreon the night that we were recording this episode. Shout out to all of the Patreon producers that support the podcast. Shout out to everybody that support the podcast on Patreon. We love you for that. But shout out to the Patreon producers. Explicitly, Ked the Pro from Chaotic Culture Podcast, Fear, Semi Sensei, Frozen, T Money Fingers, Dad Needs to Talk. Check out Dad Needs to Talk podcast. Death Scythe, aka Christian the Archivist, Rob Stone, Matthew H. And last but certainly not least, TK Does Heart Surgery. Shout out to
what?
From now on, for as long as TK is a Patreon producer, I'm just going to come up with the random thing that he does. Since his name is TK Does Nothing on all social media, I'm going to just come up with all random shit that he does from now on, here on out, forever, in perpetuity. So, be ready for that. Anyway, thank y'all so much for supporting the podcast. We truly couldn't do it without you. Mic Check Waifu Waifu is the anime podcast that's brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. And we are in the midst of the very peak, the very start of the winter season of anime. While most shows are still coming out, which is the week you're listening to this, more shows will be out. We still got a lot that came out this week that we could discuss. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. We gotta we're getting some watches there where not many people are subscribing. So just subscribe and like the videos and all that jazz stuff that YouTubers and stuff do. And if you're listening on podcast services, make sure you don't forget to rate us wherever you're watching us, whether it's YouTube Music or Spotify or whatever. Make sure you rate us there to get more ears listening to the show. We appreciate that. Yeah. So let's get into the mix of this episode. We got a few things to discuss as far as new shows go, but I do want to discuss a couple of old shows that I picked up, as well as what we were reviewing for this season's end of the season review. So we are going to discuss that this episode. But as we start off every episode, what is your episode of the week this week?
My episode of the week this week was Journaling with Witch or Journal with Witch. Oh, okay. That's my episode of the week, brother.
My episode of the week this week is Noble Reincarnation, Born Blessed, so I'll obtain the ultimate power. Fucking fire episode, first episode. I liked it a lot. So let's get into, before we get into that, let's just start the episode with this, because I'm sure you guys looked at the cover art. We're going to talk about Sentence to Become a Hero. Okay? I'll let Till go first, since I did a lot of talking already.
Oh, you gonna let me go first?
Yeah.
With Sentence to Become a Hero?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? Let's discuss it. First episode, we are going to do full spoilers of the first episode of these shows, because it's just the first episodes, just to see if you wanted to maybe add it to your list, even though we already know that everybody's watching this one. I digress.
So, God, I know this is gonna sound crazy. I'm kind of torn.
Okay.
Because I think that for 95, 98% of people, this is me just spitballing a number. This is like a phenomenal fucking like first episode. And I do think it was an amazing like first episode. It hit a lot of points that I would have liked to be hit. It also felt, they gave us a lot to digest in that beginning. There's a lot of things that in a good anime, I would have been like, this is exactly what I want. But there's also things where I was like, this is very convenient. etc. But it's the first episode, so I'm gonna let it pass. It feeds it. I feel like it's gonna feed the anime community with just its visuals and whatnot alone. I'm not 100% sold on these characters though. I'm not. I think the world, like the setting, what it looks like, what it feels like, there's so much more to develop there. But I also feel like they gave us so much in this first episode. I don't know where it could go after this. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it fed us a little too much in this first episode, and I'm not sure if the rest of this season can even keep up with what they gave us.
Yeah, so I got a lot to say about this one, because what you said is exactly right. They gave us too much, and it's not, it's too much information to digest. No. They do what the typical shonen anime does, and they just talk too much. They talk too fucking much. And what I hate about it, and let me just preface this by saying I like this episode. Was it, did it fucking slap like TCB said? No. Was it a banger like Fear said? No. It was mad okay. It was mad okay. It looked beautiful, i.e., obviously, because the director of Jobless Reincarnation directed this one, or one of the best directors of Jobless Reincarnation directed this one, and it looks beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I like the show. I think it's going to be a good show. However, the main character to me, it just
right.
No, he's edgy. He's an edgelord that talks too fucking much. Why do you talk? You don't need to talk so, like, an edgy person don't need to talk so much. And what the biggest problem I have with the show, and again, I like the show. The biggest problem with the show is that obviously they talk too much, which means that they're going to spew information that in ways that where it don't make sense, and it's insulting people's intelligence. You know why? You know why people? The problem with television today is that they make television for people who can doom scroll at the same time, for people who could be on their phone at the same time. This came out on dubbed. So if I'm scrolling on my phone while I'm watching the show, I understand everything that's going on without looking up from my phone. And that's what this show is.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like it is with Pluribus, how Pluribus is the complete opposite of that. And Pluribus is a real life TV show. You can't scroll. They're not going to over explain everything. They're not going to show you everything. Compared to Stranger Things, where you can watch Stranger Things and fucking be on your phone because they're over explaining every fucking thing. So what this show does is it does that. It insults the viewer's intelligence, and I believe I know why. It insults the viewer's intelligence because it knows that the viewership is going to be full of people who doom scroll on their phone while they're watching anime, or people who don't really want to figure something out. They want it to be told to them. And TCB compared to Clevitas, no, not even fucking close to Clevitas. Clevitas offers everything that is that example I gave with Pluribus being you can't scroll on your phone and watch this TV show, versus I'm going to over explain everything like Stranger Things. This is that comparison. Exactly.
And I kind of want to, because what you said, it made me think about the specific moments that was going on in my head, right? And it felt very video game-esque, as well as like I was confused as to why this was happening at the same time, but it made it feel more like a video game. Specifically in this episode, they're fighting the Demon Lord, right?
Sure.
And it's that whole scene. And it's like they're in this action sequence that's like 5 minutes long. And in this action sequence, you hear, "Here we go. All right, I'm doing it." And then you hear like every extra accentuated moment that kind of is like, it's the back and forth conversation in the middle of a serious fight,
sure,
so to speak. And it felt very video game-esque. Like, this is what you expect from a video game. And I was what you were saying has brought it to my attention more, was the fact that I was paying attention to this. I was like locked in, you know what I mean? So I'm dead staring at the screen and I'm like, why is all these extra words coming out?
Yeah.
What does this mean?
And then the over explaining
I get it.
The over explanation of the hero thing, mind you, people like, shout out to our producer, his Fear says, really solid first episode. It's a nice change of pace with how it's It's okay. It's a solid change of pace from how quote unquote heroes are treated. But take a look at this. If they didn't talk so fucking much in this show and then over explain that heroes are fucking are convicts, they're just felons. You could just say he's a felon and it wouldn't change anything from the show. He's convicted of something and now he's a felon. But felonies, but felons don't have the ability to die. They have to keep fighting over and over and over. Oh, but then I'm going to over explain the fact that they lose their memories, or I'm going to over explain the fact that we treat them like shit. You can interchange hero with felon and it wouldn't make any difference in the show whatsoever. But if they didn't overly explain or talk too much, then it would be better if people were just calling, "Are you a hero?" You know what I'm saying? Like it's just you're a hero, or maybe if it was proven in a different way, like if it was like a, you know, so he said, "Okay, yeah, but I'm a hero," or something like that, and it was just nonchalantly spoken. And then as they were showing or introducing other characters, like, you know, the other leaders or, you know, the knights or whatever, like that, and they treated them like shit without saying, "Oh, you're a hero, I'm going to treat you like shit. Oh, you're a hero, or you're the scum of the earth. Oh, you're a hero." And they just kept overly shoving that in our fucking face, and it decreased from the intrigue of being this hero character that was supposed to be, that's treated like shit. It's not a change of pace. It's just the same convicted felon arc with just a different name. I can literally change the name of anything, but do the same thing. And if I'm going to over explain it, it literally loses luster.
It's also the this is me kind of like taking a shot, but I feel like they explained it, the way that they over explained it made this feel somewhat obvious to me. It's the typical scenario where it feels like the character was so good at everything that they had to like not kill him, but make him useful forever, like almost like putting a dog on a chain. And that's what I feel like this whole hero thing is for our specific MC in this. And I feel like that's the only thing I can see it going to in the future, is that he was the top hero. He learned too much, found out too much going on. They set him up. All right, let's make him a convicted felon, and now he's always going to have to do what we tell him to do. Exactly. You know, clip his wings, so to speak, but keep him on a leash so he can all do exactly what we need to do. Exactly. And I'm going to say this because I think you misspoke, but because you misspoke kind of proves the point that I was making, because you said he was the top hero. He wasn't a hero. He was a knight. But that knight then becomes a hero, which means he's just a convicted felon. Like, it's so stupid because it's so, like, the whole, how heroes are treated is just, they're just interchanging a felon with a hero. And that's not as cool or unique as you would think. Right. And with all that said, though, I do still think it's going to be interesting. I do too. I do still think that it's going to be a fun week to week watch. I do too. And I think that the first, I think the first episode had a lot to offer, but there were, like I said, I think it was like, there was some parts of it that felt lazy, like the randomly showing up at the end with the scorched earth seal that they announced 20 minutes prior to that scene. Yeah. But that's typical, though. The character randomly dipping off and like her saying, "Oh, you're Xylo," and the guy that's being obsessed with Xylo immediately. I feel like there's just things that just felt like it's so, I don't know. We'll see how it comes. It's so in your face. It's insulting to me, and I don't like for stuff to insult my intelligence. Like I can't. Yeah. And this is what I was going to say in the pre-show that I stopped myself from saying because I wanted to say on the show. Frieren has jaded. Why rewatching Frieren has fucking jaded me because they don't over-explain shit. They don't do anything that's overindulging in explanation to a point where they insult your intelligence. You have to pay attention. And we had this conversation with Legal, a friend of ours, with Legal Overdose, that you got to pay attention to Frieren. You can't doom scroll and watch Frieren. But this show, you totally can, and you won't miss a fucking beat. I can look down at my phone the entire time and know exactly what's going on. I do also agree with Fear, though. The monsters look stupid. They should have just called them monsters instead of demons. But that's another term. That's another term that they use interchangeably just to be different. And it's just your atypical be usual show that looks a whole hell of a lot better than most. And
And I say all that to say this show looks good. And outside of the overly edgy, talking too much main character, I think it's going to be good because I like all the other characters. I like the thief, even though, again, like you said, it's very convenient, obviously.
He's AFK for 30 minutes.
I like his personality because it's realistic. Like, why the fuck will we do this? Why are we doing this? Like, I like his thought process. And then I like the goddess. I'm on the opposite side of Dad needs to talk where he said he feels like she's going to be annoying. But I'm more so the main character is going to be annoying because, like I said, he talked too goddamn much. Albeit, though, at the end when they explained who he was and why he was, it started to make a little bit more sense. But commit to the edginess. Become the Sasuke. Talk less, do more. I think that would have made this show shine a whole lot more.
Use Dota to carry the conversation and use Xylo or use the goddess and Dota to carry conversation and use Xylo as the man of few words.
Yep.
Because he almost
because I'm scarred and because this happened and that would have been so much cooler. He would have been a cooler character.
Because I'm not gonna say he talks as much as Spike. But he halfway there.
No,
you know what I mean. Like, I'm not saying, but he does talk, like you said. He does talk way more than you would expect an edgy. Like Guts don't talk that much.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. I was about to say you can't compare Spike to him because Spike is that kind of character. He's a caricature, if you will. Silo
I'm not, and Spike also ain't as edgy, but that's what I'm saying. Like Guts don't talk that much. Afro don't talk that much.
Right. They just showcase their power. And if you were as scarred as you say you are, why the fuck would you be doing all this speaking anyway? You know what I'm saying? Now it makes sense as to why he want to protect the Knights and he don't want people to die aimlessly. After they explained it at the very end, it made sense, even though that was also over-explained. They could have said less and did more. They could have, again, because I'm watching Frieren, I'm a little jaded, could have interwoven little pieces of it at a time and bringing that in and introducing us slowly to that plot. They just gave us all of it. And this episode is like, okay, but now what are we looking out for? Now it's just going to show him doing the damage now and him growing closer to this goddess for probably the same thing to happen, essentially. And, you know, like it's just... There's a lot to this that is like so predictable. And again, I sound super negative on it. I did enjoy the show. I did like the episode.
Same.
I did like it. It's not a bad show.
That's why I wanted to preface that. I did want to say that the episode was still enjoyable. Mm-hmm. It's just you can almost see through it like it was.
Oh my God. Not almost, bro. Clear. That bitch is transparent. It's so transparent. And again, mostly because we're rewatching Frieren right now and it's coming out the same week as Frieren coming out. This episode 2, it's in trouble. Like it's just going to like not in trouble as far as people are not going to watch it because of course they're going to watch it, but yeah, we can't help but to compare and contrast the different ways of storytelling for the two, and it's just going to be night and day. Don't insult my intelligence. I don't need you to explain everything to me. I just don't.
But that also, let's be fair, some people do. Now, I do want to move on.
Most people do,
to something.
Be fair. Yeah.
Because the one you mentioned as your episode of the week, I do really want to talk about that one.
Yeah. Before we do that, though, could we
okay, go ahead.
Could we slide into the ones I finished this week, though? Like random shows that I picked up? Because this is, I feel like before we get too deep into the other new stuff, there was a show I saw on, I believe it, what was it? Where did I see it? I saw like a ad somewhere on something and somebody started talking about, you know, it wasn't a Crunchyroll ad. It was some kind of ad, whatever. But it was a show. I got to go to my list to find it real quick. Yeah, here it is. It was a show that you had on your list in 2023 that you had set as watching. The reason why I didn't have it set as watching is because it was a TV short and I normally ignore those. It's a TV short that's 13 minutes in an episode, 22 episodes. However, if you find it on a site that shall not be named, which is a site that the only place you can find it, they have it done with the short episodes are combined into one episode and it's 12 episodes long. So it's 22-minute episodes, and it's seamless. So it's perfect. It's just like a normal show. But the show is called The Girl Downstairs, and it's a Donwood actually. And when I tell you this shit, so fucking good, so messy. It's a slice of life that it's extremely me. I even used the Mic Check Waifu review scale to rate it. I gave it a 9.2.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely fucking enjoyed this show because it was a whirlwind of tug of war between characters of like who you want him to be with and who he's going to be with and who's doing what and why they're doing what. It was absolutely wonderful. It was a wonderful slice of life that I think people should watch. And then because it was a down one, I'm like, you know what? Let me check out what the studio has and see if it's maybe something else I could pick up. Red Dog Culture is the studio, and they have another show called Mom, I'm Sorry. It's 18 episodes long. They're about 17 minutes each, so it's about a full episode. But this one broke my fucking heart. Cried tears.
Oh
you know how important our mothers are to us. And it's about a kid who was a complete and utter douchebag to his mom. His mom was a single mom. Complete and utter douchebag to his mom. His mom got terminally ill. And as she was about to pass away, he has the opportunity to make a wish. And his wish is to just save my mom. And the guy who he's getting the wish from says, okay, I can save your mom. But in turn, we're going to take away 44 years of your life. Which means that, and he even told him like, hey, you was going to live till be about 65 to 68 years old. But we're going to take 44 of those years away. He's already 22. So his life is gone, essentially.
Yeah, he's got 3-4 more years.
Exactly. But his mom is cured. Not only is his mom cured, but she's also
she's gonna get those years he lost.
She's reverted to her younger self as like a 17, 18-year-old. So his goal is to give the life his mom always wanted but couldn't have because of him. So he's sending her to college to go to college again. And again, it gets so sad watching it. And it was beautiful, a beautifully told story that I can definitely recommend it. I think what
was the name of that one?
Mom, I'm Sorry. I gave this one an 8.7. I also used the review scale. So if you join our Discord, there is a copy of our review scale that you can use to review shows. But yeah, this one got an 8.7 from me. I absolutely love this one too. Beautifully done too, art style wise. Wow. Everything. It was wonderful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I just had to get that out.
I would also like to say I'm rewatching Tokyo Magnitude 8.0.
Yeah, you did say that.
With my wife. I'm not done with it yet. We have, I think, 4 episodes left.
Okay.
But I'm watching it with my wife because she watched it a long time ago with me, but she never completed it.
Okay.
So this is her first time finishing it. And she's remembering some stuff, but it is actually funny. Because these characters are young characters, but I told her she's going to be sad come towards the end of this. But I also forgot how good some of these old anime looked.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually one of the better looking older anime.
Yeah, most of them took a lot of time. So they look beautiful. Like
it's that hand animation, I guess, kind of go crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to actually, since I saw you give a rating, I'm going to end up giving it a rating too. I'm going to do what you did because I think that's a good idea for this like solo rewatch thing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. And now to go back to the conversation that you was about to bring up at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Noble Reincarnation, Born Blessed.
So Noble Reincarnation, they gave us 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm. No.
And it wasn't 2?
Not for Noble Reincarnation. You said
Noble gave us 2.
The one that gave us 2 was the blind one.
Blind one. I'm sorry.
So you want to start there
Reincarnation?
First?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly where we're going though. I'm sorry. Noble Reincarnation was indeed a great episode because I don't know why I was thinking that. Yeah. I think it was a great choice for episode of the week because of everything that we got in this and how it really laid the groundwork for what's to come. Mm-hmm. When I saw what you said about this one, immediately I was like, 100%. I'm with Polow on this one.
Yeah, this one's gonna be a surprise. I think hit because not only is it beautiful, it looks just wonderful. Who was this? Cop Town? Never heard of you. Cop Town did Headhunter from Another World and Maji and Dolly. That's nothing. So
Migi and Dolly was okay.
Okay, you did watch that one. Okay, so yeah, but those were non-existent to me. Mm-hmm. This art is beautiful. The art in the show is gorgeous. And not only that is while they did explain some stuff, they don't over explain anything. It feels mysterious. I'm curious. And that's what I like about my shows. I want to be curious about my show as I'm watching it. I don't want you to fucking tell me everything. I want to figure it out as I go. I want to be intrigued. I want reasons to come back next week. I feel like I don't need to come back. Well, even though it's not coming out, I don't need to come back for Sentence to be a Hero because I know everything. But this I want to come back to because there is a lot that I'm looking forward to seeing as far as like his power, his evolution, his political situation, his foresight. Yeah. So
this episode gave us a lot, and that's what I was tuned in because, like, yeah, we see a lot of battle anime. The foresight that he's demonstrating, the care for his servants, and even that part of the power system to me, I just think is amazing, right? Because it does make me think, right? He already has a bit of foresight, but he's gaining power based off the servants and things like that he gains. I'm thinking, what if he does get under his employ a servant who has a like how in my appraisal skill, right? A servant who has high political skills or high political ability, does he also gain that as a which I didn't actually look at all the stats to see which ones were there, right? Do you remember which ones were all there?
No, because they weren't translated, unfortunately.
Yeah. But if they had like a political skill or what would it be called?
Charisma.
A charisma modifier or skill, yeah, that would be something interesting to see, like how the character is bolstered in multiple different ways based off that alone.
Yeah, so let's start here. He was reincarnated. Obviously, it's not an isekai, but he was reincarnated in the same world that he was already from. He was reincarnated into a imperial family as a 13th son, and he was just so happened to be blessed. He's blessed with the affinity of water, which is a double S tier, or to him, it's E plus S or something like that. But to everybody else, it's triple S tier, affinity to water magic. And then not only that, he got to keep his memories of his past life. So he's essentially an adult, but also while being a child. So he has that maturity to him from an adult, and we know
a little ahead.
Yeah, we know nothing about his past life, which again, I absolutely love. You don't need to over-explain it. Just bring it in slowly but surely to know what he already knows and how he incorporates that into his life going forward. But he also has an older brother who seems to be plotting behind the scenes to do some diabolical shit, and he's going to use his youngest brothers to do so. It's just it's so much intrigue in this episode again without too much fucking crop dusting us with information. And I love that. Like, I absolutely love this first episode for this show. And again, it's gorgeous. It looks really, really my favorite art style, the heavier art. They did do something that was a little strange that I'm not going to take away from, but a lot of motion for dramatic effect. They decided to slideshow it, literally, like fade it in, which I think it's not due to lack of animation, because the animation was there and it was quality. I think it was just to be unique. And
yeah, their own effect.
Yeah, and it was a choice. It was a choice. Not necessarily a bad one, because you could tell that it's a lot of effort that goes into the actual animation of this show. But it's just it's strange. It was a little strange.
It's an attempt at what they do in live shows. Mm-hmm. In a similar, like, yes. Like I would say they probably did it in Game of Thrones a couple times.
Yeah,
where it was that fade out into a different shot or a different screen.
It wasn't even necessarily that, because it was like him getting dressed, but it was fade in, him getting his shirt on, fade in of them putting on his shoe. And it was like it wasn't like it was lack of animation, like it was
because they didn't need to do that.
Yeah, no, they didn't need to do it, but they just chose to. It was like a choice, an artistic choice. And it was weird. So I'm like, and they did it twice in the episode. Yeah. Like when they were walking down the hallway, and it was like, what the hell? How did they choose to do that there? But I mean, I get it. Outside of that, though, I loved it.
Yeah, I think this is another one that I'm also excited to watch this season.
Yeah, I think it's unique enough in the sense of where it's going with the main character. I'm looking at the creator of it. It's actually the creator of it is actually Taiwanese. Nazuna Miki. They did I'm a Noble on the Brink of Ruin, so I might as well use that one. And that one wasn't great, so that's a little concerning. And then my unique skill makes me OP at level 1. That also was okay. But they do a lot of these shows. Interesting.
Let's give them a chance, brother.
No, this was way better than any one of those, like already. So it could fall off. Could definitely fall off, but it was real good. Okay, now let's move on to the one that you mentioned that had the 2-episode drops this week.
Oh yes,
Kunon
the Sorcerer.
Kunon the Sorcerer can see. Now this one, I immediately thought, I'm like, oh, Crystal would go on to adopt this child until it got a little bit later. Then it became a little bit, I don't know.
He was doing a little much.
Yeah, he became a little shallow.
But I did think that it did. I think this one was one of those episodes that also did not it didn't overstate too many things, but I wish that there was a little bit more building of I don't want to say the power system, but for them to have given us 2 episodes, I wish that a couple of things had gotten further, if that makes sense.
What you mean?
He's clearly trying to develop eyes with water magic. Mm-hmm. I feel like for that to have been a focal point for these 2 episodes, that they could have done a little bit more surrounding that. But I do think that it was cool to see the development of his magic within these first 2 episodes. Yeah. Like that system in itself, and even getting the information about how he can recognize colors now, even though he can't see them, that whole system in itself I thought was really cool. I am impressed with how this works so far. I am still a little wary. Yeah,
I think this is going to be one of those shows we like that we can't recommend.
Yeah.
Because it feels, I don't know how to explain it. It just feels not great.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm interested. I'm not gonna say it's good, but I'm gonna watch it and I enjoy it. This is one of the terrible shows I enjoy, but
it's almost too unserious while having enough there to give it substance, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's got the substance there, but it's a little too unserious in some moments.
That is true.
And not the good unserious, the kind of unserious that you're just kind of like, okay, this is kind of cringy.
Yeah, kind of satire-y cringe. All for One Match says the maid influenced the main character a little too much. I mean, he spends most of his time with her and he can't see. So what else? How else? You know, like I did like the storyline of the fact that you can't see anything. You don't understand that you haven't seen anything, and a point to where you're like, I can't go. I'm just in darkness. I'm surrounded by darkness 24/7, and that is depressing. And the showcase of that I thought was cool. I thought that was an interesting take of that particular handicap, and it was well done. And then
the notability of them actually doing it and showing now like he wasn't quite as expressive until he gained a little bit of understanding of like even color.
Yeah, or even understanding the fact that what magic is and what magic can be. It then changing his character. I appreciated that. I did. I do like that part of it. And then it got a little too
weirder.
Yeah, like with the be a gentleman that's going to be jokey, and it just becoming overly bubbly after that.
Yeah,
it got a little strange, but it's trash that I can watch.
Yeah, clearly it's going to be fun and then clearly it's gonna be like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, I see what we're doing here.
Exactly.
But it was a cool enough first 2 episodes. I
agree.
I've watched worse stuff.
No, way worse. Way worse. This one gets more of a chance than most because it's a lot better than most. And then we got Jack of All Trades, Party of None. The problem with this one is this seems extremely forgettable. It comes out 2 days from now, which means that it comes out on Tuesday, the day that this episode airs. Or is that Wednesday it comes out? One of those days it comes out. But either way, whether if I watched it Tuesday or rather if I watched it Wednesday, I don't remember it. It didn't stand out to me whatsoever. But I'm going to watch it.
Let me say something that's kind of funny, but kind of not funny. This show is doing too many things all at once, but also not doing anything well.
What you mean?
It's a jack of all trades, but good of none of them.
Well, I don't, because it ain't give me enough yet to say if it's.
And what, that's me making a joke, but it's more like it feels like it's gonna do the banish from the hero party, and I'm gonna join a new party scenario, but also I'm gonna do the solo leveling Kirito kind of thing.
I see what you're saying,
but I'm also really good at being a swordsman, but I use magic to enhance my abilities.
Which the fact that it ain't obvious in this world is already crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the girl who influenced my party to kick me out. I'm also gonna basically join her party. And obviously this is just like an explanation of the first episode, but it's like it does feel like it's doing a lot of things, but hasn't leaned into one of them specifically yet. And it could benefit from leaning heavier into one of those. This is my sleeper, right?
Is it? That's a good. I forgot.
I'm pretty sure this is my sleeper.
Oh shit!
Just scroll up.
Yeah, I'm scrolling up right now. Oh shit! Yeah, tell us Polow sleeper. Yeah, it is. It is. Yep.
Yeah, it's my sleeper.
I forgot that it was a sleeper.
So I hope that it does get better.
Yeah, I think it will.
Because I'm not saying that to say I'm turned off by it. I'm not saying like, hey, I'm not gonna watch it. I need you to sell me on something, brother.
Yeah,
anything at this point.
Shout out to Dad Needs to Talk podcast. He I gotta find it now. And our other producer, All for One Matt, they mentioned. Matt says he watched it. He says it's an atypical Be Usual show, but I think you'll be able to recommend this show. And then Dad Needs to Talk says, well, winter has begun, and I honestly wasn't really gonna check this out, but since it dropped ahead of everything else, I figured why not. It seems like another kicked out of the Heroes Party series, so I'll give it at least a couple of episodes. MC seems like a good dude. And yeah, he does. Yeah. What I like about him is like I feel like I can take him more serious than other characters, opposed to when they do these kicked out of banished party shows that I can't really take the main character serious ever. I just want to see the revenge.
Here's what I didn't like though. It was the bold-faced lie he told when he told them girls that it was a mutual agreement that he got kicked out of here.
Nah, yeah, that was straight up a lie. He got his ass.
I was like, brother,
booted.
That's not what happened. Why you lie to them like that?
He basically just said, they basically just said, you got fired. No, you can't fire me because I quit. That's what he tried to do. That's
but
what he tried to use. He didn't do that either.
He didn't do that either. Hold up, my guy. Pause.
Yeah, he did lie. That's funny. I didn't even think
bold face. When I saw that in the show, I was like, "Hold up, well, that's not what happened right there,
bro." Straight up lied.
I just watched this scene. What you talking about?
That is insane to even think about because I didn't think about that until you said it. That's funny. Okay, and then let's move on to another show that came out, which is a season 3 of a show, which is MF Ghost, the initial D sequel series, if you will. It's it still does this terrible pacing thing, but I can't help but enjoy every last bit of it because I'm just a big racing fan when it comes to like games and shows and shit like that. I will say this though, slight spoilers for MF Ghost season 3. I'm not going to talk about what happened in this episode because if you do that, it's the third season. You're gonna be a little confused. We got a spirit plot armor here. I don't understand at the end. That was a little weird.
That's not normal.
That's not normal at all, especially in this.
They
show.
haven't done that before.
Ever. And so I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Okay. But, I'm here for it. I just want to see races and cool car shit. So I'm going to get that. We're going to get that. That was like, ugh, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that was definitely abnormal for what we've seen from MF Ghost or
any other racing show, period.
Yeah. That Speed Racer when you had done that.
Yeah, because Speed Racer already going the speed of light.
I'm telling you.
All right.
Oil slick.
Oh, sorry if y'all never seen Speed Racer before. Moving on from that, you ready to get to know my Check White Food before we get into our rewatches?
Oh no, hold on. I still got a couple more.
Oh, my bad, G. Go ahead.
Daily Life of a Part-Time Torturer.
Oh God, I turned this on for 5 minutes. I didn't even drop it because I didn't finish the episode. I just deleted it from my list.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm gonna watch it, and I don't know why. I know why you don't like it, right?
Yeah.
This actually for me seems like complete nonsense fodder. Yeah. I turned it on and I just laughed. I laughed the whole way through. Can't even lie to you, brother. Do I think I'm gonna watch it the whole season? I have no idea. But I did actually just turn it on and was like, okay, this is cool. And then my other one, which was my episode of the week, Journal with Witch. Did you watch this one at all? No?
I started and turned it off.
Okay. Is it because of like the premise of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that this was first of all, I love the art style. I think the art style is
very skip and loafer like.
Yeah, but it was animated well. Like they didn't for such a soft style in how they do it, right? Mm-hmm. They animated it extremely well. This felt very high quality. They did some like emotional fade ins and out. It's a very emotionally intelligent show. The voice acting was dry as hell though.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. Voice acting felt like it
I had it.
I may need to wait for the dub. Because it feels like when it gets dubbed, scenes will be more emotional. Like I'll be more willing to like be dragged into that. But the actual context of the show, the direction of the show, the narration and how you walk through this episode, I thought was like very artfully done, like very tastefully done, and done in a way in which like it sets a very good tone for what the actual show is. It's one that I'm going to sit down and watch with my wife for sure. And that's probably why I also liked the episode so much. It was so easy for me to just sit down and say, damn, that was a lot for a first episode. And I'm willing to see or interested to see where it develops. So I think it's worth watching 100%.
Yeah, I don't. But that's just because it's just not a show for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the torture one, I could never, ever do those type of movies or shows or anything that does body horror, body porn or whatever the fuck they call it. Gore,
but they didn't do none of that.
Yeah, I can never do no the first 5 minutes is that. So I don't know what you're talking about. Not for me. Not for me at all. I had to pause to make sure you're like, what are you talking about? It's definitely there. It's just not it. Not for me. And it just seems nonsensical and stupid anyway.
It is very nonsensical and stupid, but the characters, it's so weird because it's like, as a part-time torturer, you doing this part-time. Why are you guys so nice and happy-go-lucky and friendly?
And that's the shtick, right? That's the comedic part of it. That shit only can last, what, for
except
me,
for the
5
one
minutes.
for the one Itachi-like character.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to know my check waifu before we.
Oh, random number generator. That's me.
Yeah, and I'm gonna read the question, and then we're gonna get into our rewatch spoiler talk of Frieren in Hell's Paradise, which have been a fucking blast, by the way. Spoilers.
Expedition 36.
Expedition. I wish I remember which. Some of those expeditions were crazy, by the way. Rero.
11.
Do you collect any anime merchandise?
Yes.
LudeComplex.com or Any News, or I definitely do. It's mostly closed though. I don't do any. I guess I do. I got 2 statues of Ren behind me. What am I talking about?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I had a Goku right here. I have a sword. I have some Twin Star Exorcist manga, which I need to get more of. I don't have my desk is clean, so I don't have anything on the floor. I don't know. I have stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
You can look at Polow's back and you can see the stuff that he has.
Yeah, exactly. Now that's it. I got a couple of volumes of ReZero light novel too.
That's something I gotta come up on. Whenever I go to like Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
Is that where you get them from?
I got mine from Amazon, but you can get them from Barnes and Noble.
When I went to Barnes and Noble, they ain't had none. It's like, this is the last one I went, because the one I went to was in Pearland.
And they didn't have it in there?
No, because and I'm gonna tell you this. Just hear me out. I went, and that's the 2 places I went. I went straight to the R's to look for ReZero, and then I went to the T's to get Twin Star Exorcist. And ReZero was completely gone.
And were you in the manga section or the light novel section? Those are very different sections. Might have been in the manga section.
You're right, because I definitely went to the manga section.
Yeah, you want to go to the light novel section.
I went to the manga section.
Light novel section.
That's where I fucked up.
It's like, and I don't know, maybe all Barnes and Nobles are the same. I think they are. Because
I think you're right. I think it is a light novel section, and I went straight to the manga.
Yeah, and they're close to each other, but they're not close enough to where you will see the other.
That was me being stupid. You're right.
But no, it's
y'all can cook me in the chat for that one.
But anyway, yeah, we did. Moving on. Where do you want to start? Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Hell's Paradise.
Okay, let's do it. As you said in the Hell's Paradise channel of our forum, it goes by way too fast. Those 5 episodes or whatever it was, 4, unbelievably quick. And it's like so much happened without not much happening, but so much happened. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. If you watch Hell's Paradise, you know what we're talking about. Yeah. But this is the moment where we find out about the I can't remember what they call them. Tengen. Yeah. Tengen. We find out about the Tengen. We almost go to the end boss by going to the outer walls, and then Gabimaru fights one of them, and it is brutal. It is a fucking brutal fight. That's so fucking cool in my opinion, because of his combat IQ is leagues above anything else we've watched, as far as, outside of Frieren, outside of leagues above any other shonen that we watched of his ilk, right? Of the Jujutsu Kaisens and the Dragon Ball Z. Like the combat IQ of Gabimaru is so fucking cool to witness and see that I love that so much more than just the fight itself. And it just gets, spoilers, it gets better from there. But like to slowly get piece by piece understanding of what the power system is, and it's better in dub because I understand it a lot more clearly now than I did when I watched it sub when it first came out. Yin and yang. It's as simple as yin and yang, and how do you understand and read that energy to then turn it into something completely out of this world. It's so fucking cool, man. It's so cool.
And one of the things you said, yin and yang, but also piece by piece. And I say piece by piece. I like that you said that, because Gabimaru was piecing by piecing that thing up. It was
He wasn't,
crazy.
though. He wasn't. He was getting his ass mopped.
He was, but he still pieced him up a little bit. But what you said, though, is like, because, and if I'm not mistaken, I could be entirely wrong, but I believe that this is the case. You gather your energy in your bottom torso. Is where the root of your energy comes from in that belief system, and it spreads out from there, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why it was such a good focal point for him to focus on. That's why it meant so much for him to attack there, because it's attacking from the root where their core is. And I thought, I'm like, that's just really cool in general, especially considering that's where the roots come from their core, where their power stems from. The how they tackle the understanding in this show is very important, and that's one of the things that, like, we don't have a lot. And I have some background knowledge on it. I imagine Polow has some background knowledge on it as well. But it's one of those things where, like, they don't necessarily tell you up front, but you'll start to develop a little bit of an understanding just from watching the show without them over explaining it. They're not trying to simplify it for you, but they're going to demonstrate it for you.
What they do is because binging this is harder to realize that until you, like, watching it week to week. I think is better because they leave stuff to interpretation and then slowly unravel that interpretation as it more and more clarifies, as the main character learns more and more and more. And that is what makes it so special, right? Because again, mm-hmm. the powers of system or belief starts from your core, but that's also where their life is, the Tengen mm-hmm. or whatever they call it. That's where their life support system is their core. Starting from there, and if you can, blockage that or whatever, you can basically kill them. But what Hell's Paradise do so well is establishing an antagonist that is so scary. These things are so fucking scary because of what they did to the blonde dude and the young girl, Naru guy, and then the blonde dude's apprentice. Did them so fucking dirty. And what this show does so well is they give you characters that you don't think you should care about a very small amount of time, but I end up liking these two characters a lot. And when he dies, I'm sad. And I don't know him from a fucking grade of paint in this show, compared to other characters in the show or other shows, period. But I care more so about that than I cared about any other death in Jujutsu Kaisen, or I cared about him more than any other death in any other show that I've watched. And I spent maybe a total of maximum 20 minutes with this guy out of 10 episodes.
In his potential.
And it's because I believed in his potential, his character, his growth, all of that. I believed it. I believed it all. So it just, I don't know, man. It was just like a sad moment that I thought was such quality storytelling that we don't get very often. Because it's always an overindulged, overconfident character you're supposed to care about, but you don't like. It's not done like this. Very few and far between.
They also, and this is one of those things that was kind of mentioned, but almost in passing to make it like a downplay, but not too much of a downplay, where they said he's like, they always attack when it's my turn to fight or whatever, right? You know what I mean? Then this is what the Tengen said. Okay. They always come when it's my turn to fight. And it's mentioned in a way, and I'm not gonna say that that's necessarily how they mention it, but he's mentioned and talked about even amongst the other as if like he's the weakest one. He's always the one that gets caught lacking, which when they were unaware of what he is, right? Like you said, with the blonde guy in Uruguay and the blind guy, you know, he put them on notice immediately. Like, hey, it's time to evacuate. Y'all need to get out of here.
Yeah.
They were very frightened about what he could do, because they had no real introduction to him. Mind you, they had the upper hand. There was 3 of them technically, but there was nothing they could do.
Yeah.
And Gabimaru, literally the only reason he stood a chance is based off of 2 things. Because he was getting mopped, like Polow said.
He got trounced. Was
his attack mentality, trying to figure out how to attack, his ability to not get hit in that strategy on figuring out how to attack or where to land a hit. And, you know, like when we could see when he landed a hit, he could see that it dealt damage. But also that kill code or that kill count instinct. when he gets put in on death's door, he has to deal the most damage he possibly can, which really that saved. I'm not gonna say it saved his ass because in the scenario he was expected to die.
Yeah.
And he dealt the most damage possible. And to the Tengen, he won. You know what I mean? Gabimaru won that fight. Whereas Gabimaru looks at it like, dang, I just took an L and I haven't done that in ever.
I don't think necessarily to the Tengen he lost the fight. I just think he was confused on that power, but I think he still think he won the fight, obviously, when he told his other selves that he won.
Well, they said straight up, he defeated you. You were defeated. That's what they said.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did, bro. In the dub, they said defeated.
They said they let him do that much damage to you. It didn't say nothing about defeated.
I promise you, bro. You might have to go back and watch it. In the dub, when they stand in that circle, they said you were defeated by one of them. And he said, "Yeah, he pushed me to use like I can't remember what it was like. They pushed me to use my form.
Yeah, you were forced to use the form.
Yeah, they said you were defeated. That's what they said.
I didn't. Okay, so I didn't interpret that as being defeated. I just interpret that as they were forced to. I was forced to transform. One of them forced you to transform is all I heard. All I remember hearing. But
yeah, but even then, you know, he pushed even that form to its limit.
Right.
But I think that the thing is, and we'll see this obviously as the rewatch continues, that as they find out what the attack method should be, I feel like those other Tengen are going to be even scarier.
Yeah.
Because if this is just like the beginning, right? And it's already so hard to take down one of them, with Gabimaru being like the attack specialist here.
High IQ.
What? Yeah, right. High IQ. What is the method to winning going to be here when we get to Hell's Paradise season 2?
Sure.
Because our samurai, our executioners, their whole methodology is attacking in between joints. But how do you do that? Yeah, how do you do that with something that doesn't have the same weakness that you're used to exposing? Which
is what makes the show so fucking dope, because again, they give you that little piece of information to hit you with an antagonist that is scary. That is very, very scary. Like, to the point where you think, how do we win? When you got somebody with as high combat IQ as Gabimaru losing in a fight, and then you have him, you know, getting on his knees and basically begging for cooperation for the other convict. Dude, side tangent. What's the difference between Hell's Paradise and Sentenced to Be a Hero? They're literally doing the same thing. But I digress. But yeah, it's insane. It's insane when you think about like the method in which this show unravels. I find it to be more entertaining than even before when I first watched it.
Yeah.
Like, if I would have gave it an 8 then, I'm giving it a 9 now, you know? Like, because I'm engrossed, if you will.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
I have the same feeling with this. When I say this specifically, I have the same feeling with this that I have with Frieren, that it's kind of hard to rewatch because I want to watch all of it.
Yeah, at once, yes.
And when we get to Frieren, I'm going to tell you exactly that.
Yeah.
This is Frieren is the hardest rewatch because I just wanted to finish the whole thing.
Yeah. We started on a terrible spot.
I could have finished it the first week all in one sitting because that's just how good it is.
That's what Fear did. Yeah.
Hell's Paradise has brought back something in my like fighting sense when it comes to these anime that is just like, man, thank you for bringing a strategic way to battle here.
Exactly. It was needed. These rewatches were needed because I think it then validates us going into these next seasons with more anticipation than ever before. Like, I know it was still our most anticipated, but it just feels so much more natural going into the next episodes that I'm like, next seasons that I'm like so looking forward to it even more.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to Frieren.
Brother.
Man.
Hardest rewatch ever, like I said. I could have finished this all in one sitting, and stopping at the episode that we stopped at, my heart. It's odd because it's a very good stopping point.
It is.
Oddly enough.
Yeah, it
was like a semi-perfect stopping point, but man, did I hate having to stop.
Yep.
We stopped right after the catching of the bird.
Yep. And then on to their second test.
Yeah, our boy Dankin throwing up his hands. I will always love that meme, bro. Dankin throwing up his hands to shoot the fair ones. I thought, yeah, goated moment, bro.
It was incredible. I just love the way that everything came together when it came to how Frieren executed this, or how even Fern even was she overwhelmed that poor girl with just basic offensive and defensive magic. And she's like, it's all I could use. My master told me this is all I need to use. And then, it's just so good.
It's the school of thought, though.
Yeah, it is.
Right? And it's like, you would think that because I have earth magic, water magic, fire magic, electric magic, slicing magic, all these different magics, you would think that the ability to be more versatile than those magics will just win you battles, right? You would think, I can be more versatile because I have all these different options at my disposal. Mind you, Fern probably got way more options than they do just because she's been with Frieren.
Yeah, I gotta what's the word I'm looking for? I gotta fight back at this one because I don't think they think it's more versatile, that they're more versatile. I think the whole point of what this was showcasing is that they're not versatile. They have specialized magic, but that is their detriment. I think that's the whole thing that this story is trying to tell. That is to their detriment because you got the girl with the water magic who couldn't use water magic because the earth user took her away from water. So because it did that, Fern is a better person here because she uses just simple offensive magic, but in a very effective way that makes her more versatile than those who have, quote unquote, not even versatility because it's not. They're just they're specialized while Fern isn't.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. What I'm saying is that you have like they think that they are more versatile. Dude is turning flowers into needles and can make them come from anywhere. The other guy is summoning earth from the ground. I don't think they think that though. Attacking from they're
specialized. They're not versatile at all.
Yeah, so they're trying to use this magic in a way to where they can try and outwit their enemies is what I'm saying. Because they're trying to be versatile in sorts and do this, right? And straight up Fern is just like, I don't need none of that. I can just overwhelm you with 30 attacks continuously over and over and over until your shields go down and you have nothing to do. Because
it doesn't have a weakness. It's not like again, if you are an earth user but you're on water, you're fucked. You know what I'm saying? That's the like being a specialized mage is what they are, and that's why they will struggle or why they do struggle. Because they thinking, if I master this one type of magic, the flowers turn into needles. Or if I master water magic, or if I master earth magic, then I'm just the best there is because I mastered this one particular art form of magic. While you should be doing is just focusing on the simple offensive magic. And if you can master that to the umpteenth degree, and that's the whole lesson that this class is teaching, I think, mages, period. Because also Frieren, the greatest mage of all time, is only using simple offensive magic.
Yeah.
Because all that other shit don't mean nothing.
Yeah. But like I said, to my point, it's the fact that you don't need to fancify all this. You know what I mean? Like, they even went as far as to show, like, you can make your defensive magic stronger to try and resist, like, his rock magic, right? Mm-hmm. But it's still going to leave gaps, and then he does a different way of attacking. And it's like, with Fern's magic, like I said, overwhelming. With Frieren's magic, overwhelming. It's not about how versatile that these people can try and be with all their different types of magic, like the one girl who can basically slice through most defensive magics. It's more about literally what the weakness to each individual is, and just straight up using magic. And
I love how they consider them demons for being able to do that. They're like, these guys are fucking demons.
Right. And it's the most basic thing. They're like, I can't believe you're doing this. Yeah. But like you said, Frieren, she knows how overwhelming it is. Like, imagine being in a world where you can't use water magic, and Frieren's like, yeah, let's knock this shield down. Yep. Let's knock this barrier down. And mind you, she cast the most ridiculous spell out of anybody in the whole show at that moment by knocking that spell down, because this is a spell or a barrier that has been up and set up by Ezreal, who is the only other,
the creator, essentially.
Yeah, the only other the grimoire, the walking living grimoire of magic. It's like, oh, Frieren, now you done pissed me off. Mm-hmm. It's just such a beautiful moment that we got in that good. In general.
So fucking good.
Also, just that Frieren clearly has trained Fern to be a goat, and it's her reactions to things is just amazing.
The top tier voice acting too is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Outside of Frieren and Fern, though, who are like your what's your favorite moment within this like little 7 episode segment?
It's unironically this is about to sound crazy with all the epicness we got, but it's unironically the right before Zayn leaves, that story of him wrestling with, do I want to leave these guys and find my friend, and just all of that whole relationship part, like relationship building part, and learning who Guerrilla Warrior was, and that whole part, that whole arc right there was, I think, to me personally, better than anything that I saw in that tournament. The tournament was the tournament. It was cool to show, again, these specialized mages versus a mage who just simply uses offensive magic. It's cool, and that lesson was cool. But that the relationships building and the appreciation of time is what the most important message in the show is. And they delivered that so well when it came to the whole Zayn and him splitting from the party part, that I enjoyed that probably the most.
I didn't enjoy that shit at all.
Yeah.
That was like probably my least favorite part. And I said that because it broke my heart. I fucking like Zayn.
And that's why I enjoyed it.
They built his character so well within those moments that we had him.
He fit like a glove. And
mind you, that was the part I've been dreading this entire watch.
Yep. It was so good. Like, it's so good.
And hear me out when I say this. Zayn going into season 2 was a character I was like, I hope that we get to see Zayn again, or I hope that we get a moment with Zayn. But even if we don't, it's like, I know that what his character was set out to do has been achieved, so to speak, or is at least heading in that direction, right? Yep. So if we do see Zayn again, however much time passes within the anime, if we do see Zayn again, that his experience with Frieren has altered him in a way in which, like, it's been a monumental moment. but it's still like, man, that was such a good character, such a good developmental moment.
Yep.
And also just such a good world building moment in terms of understanding how the goddess's magic works versus regular magic that we already understand. And what limitations are. Like Frieren can do some of the goddess's magic, but doesn't have full range to it or full access to it because of limitations. That whole sequence of things was just Zane was a great moment within the show, bro.
The dance, even the moment with him trying to replace his son for or to show the people his son is still, able after he part with his son in that whole fight. And it's just all of that part is just better than anything actiony this show has to offer. And the actiony parts are fucking fantastic. It's such a good character piece, which again, what I love about it, that you can't, it's going to be so hard to have this up against anything else this season that, like everything else is about to turn into a fucking drag because I'm going to be thinking about Frieren all week. Even when I watch something good on the other side, like Sense is to be a hero or even Hell's Paradise season 2. I'm looking forward to those, but because we're lucky enough to have Frieren in this particular moment, it's going to jade me when I'm watching anything else. It's going to fuck me up. Like it did with me watching Frieren and then other shit coming out. I'm like, fuck, this Frieren is so good, man. It's just too good that it is undeniably one of the greatest anime of all time.
Easily.
And I'm at Polow Borfly on all social media.
I'm at King Taliano on all social media.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all social medias at Mic Check Waifu Waifu. YouTube.com/@MicCheckWaifuWaifu and follow our gaming podcast. YouTube.com/@Respect Games. And as always, Mike check.
Shit it at 333 times.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu Waifu.